When I'm teaching, obviously one of the things I'm going to need to be able to do is create assignments for my students. So across that top in my general channel, you've got the assignments tab. So you can, when you first create an assignment, you go to assignments and click create. You're going to have the option to create an assignment or a quiz. So a quiz is based off of Office 365 forms. It's really, really convenient. If you go to Office 365 and you can get there through Clever, you can make a form that is automatically graded. So that's a quiz. And what happens if I go into Teams is it'll actually, and so when I make this in Teams and I click make a quiz, it'll actually pull a list of all of the forms and quizzes I've ever already made. So I can go and make my quiz in Microsoft Forms, come start a quiz in Teams, and then just pull that pre-existing quiz in here. So what's nice is that'll get graded automatically. Another thing you can do when you create your team is you can also set it to create from existing. So let's say you had a daily check-in assignment or something like a daily warm-up or a daily journal that you wanted your kids to do every day. You can create that assignment from an existing assignment, and that way you don't have to start from scratch every time you make something if it's a regular thing that you're going to do. One other thing, a couple things I want to talk about here. So you have a title, obviously for what this assignment is. You also have categories that you can set. So you can create a couple of different categories. These don't directly tie into Focus. Right now, we want teachers to have the freedom to set their grade books up like they want in Focus. Therefore, we can't mandate this connection with Teams. You know, I think about it like this. Right now, if you're working in a classroom and you're grading papers, then you have to just transcribe those papers into Focus anyway. So this is kind of like that. The difference is that if you're using like quizzes or something like that in Teams, the quizzes would grade themselves, and then you just transcribe that over to Focus later on. So you would then put some instructions in. I want to point out this Add Resources button. This is really, really important. This allows you to upload documents that your kids will get a copy of. This is like handing them out something for them to work on. So if I create a Word document and then upload that here by clicking Add Resources, then each student will be able to edit their own version of that I can then grade when they turn it in. You can also attach links to videos. You can attach links to other websites, and you can put all kinds of things under the Add Resources button. So that's something that you're going to want to use for sure. Another thing that you'll want to do is to look at how many points something is worth. Obviously, you want to give it a certain number of points, and you can also look at who you're going to assign this video to. So if I am making an assignment, like I said, maybe I have 6 classes, but they're all the same prep, I can choose to assign an assignment to all of those classes at the same time. So I don't have to just go through one at a time and make this assignment. I can choose to assign it to all of those classes all at once. Another thing I want to mention here is this little edit button. So by default, when I make an assignment, the kids will just see it. It'll be in the general channel, it'll show up, and they will be able to work on it. And by default, they can also turn it in late. So if you wanted to change those things, you could actually click that edit button and set up assignments to go ahead of time. So I could set up assignments for tomorrow or 3 days or a week from now, and they would show up when I set them to show up. I can also turn off late turn-ins. So if I want to have a hard deadline for something to be turned in, that little edit button is where I would disable late turn-ins.